Rangers All-Stars Michael Young and Josh Hamilton, as well as Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan, certainly have earned the admiration of those who aspire to become major leaguers and of fans who've enjoyed watching them deliver on the field. In everyday life, there are heroes who put their lives on the line on a daily basis, protecting our priceless freedom and democracy. This weekend, as we celebrate the birth of our nation, let us thank the military and the wounded soldiers from Fort Sill arriving here to enjoy tonight's game, who've served this country to safeguard all Americans.
Thank you so much from me and my teammates for allowing us to do what we love to do. Thank you. Come home safe, come home soon.
It's a salute to our heroes as the Rangers host the Marlins right now on Fox Sports Southwest. What is more American than baseball on the weekend of the 4th of July? Tonight, it's Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Rangers and the Florida Marlins. Here now, public address announcer Chuck Morgan.
And please welcome the 36th Infantry Division Band of the Texas Army National
Andrea Smith here at Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan. I'd like to say hey to my family back at Fort Hood, Texas. Hey, Mom, I love you. Happy 4th of July. I love you all and hope to see you real soon. Go Rangers!
Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. By Jack in the Box. Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designated driver. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Fourth of July weekend in full swing with a crowd of about 33,000 expected tonight for Game 2 of this 3-game series matching the Rangers and the Florida Marlins, making their first trip to Arlington since 2003. And tonight's Southwest Airlines starting lineup for Jack McKeon. Emilio Bonifacio leading off in center field tonight. Omar Infante batting second at second. And Gabby Sanchez, Hanley Ramirez hitting much better since McKeon moved him to the cleanup spot. Logan Morrison in left field. The DH is Mike Stanton. John Buck is behind the plate again with Wes Helms playing third. And Brian Peterson just called up today to bat ninth and play right field against Derek Holland going for his 7th win of the year.
16 starts for Derek, a nice solid winning record. ERA's in the mid-4s. 74 strikeouts, 37 walks, a 2-to-1 ratio. That's not bad. Sunday against the Mets, Derek struggled a little bit, but you have to like the fact that he battled through 6 innings. Gave up 12 hits in that game. A lot of those hits were not hard hit. 7 runs, but only 3 were earned runs, technically. And in fact, it is a game that wasn't as bad as the numbers might have looked. It was a quality start, actually. 3 earned runs in 6 innings. Derek didn't strike out a batter in that game, but, you know, it was a hot day, and he really battled through a lot of adversity in that game, and you can still learn something from that outing.
Derek going for his 3rd straight quality start. In fact, he's never strung together 3 consecutive. And behind him defensively, Hamilton, Gentry, and Cruz the outfield. Beltre, Andrews, Kinsler, Moreland the infield. And Yorby Torrealba returns behind the plate. After Taylor Teagarden last night had a career 3-hit game. Rangers still with the most double plays turned in the majors. Still with the most errors committed in the American League with 67. The young switch hitting Emilio Bonifacio steps in. And we get underway. 100 degrees on the dot as we get started here. Bonifacio, Infante, and Gabby Sanchez. And after showing bunt, pulls back, and the count even at a ball and a strike. Emilio last night 1 for 5 at RBI double. Joe West is the umpire behind the plate tonight. Lance Barrett is at first. Angel Hernandez at second. Angel Campos is at third. And Holland missing that one a little bit low. It's 3 balls and a strike. Derek with a win tonight would tie his career high of 7 set in his rookie year 2 years ago. Boy, and Joe West has a tough strike zone at first at bat. Let's check in tonight with Emily Jones.
Well, guys, as you well know, we have begun the official second half of the season, and Josh Hamilton says it's exciting to think about the potential of this team going forward.
I know we haven't played to the best of our ability as much as we would have liked to, and still are hanging on to first place in the division. So it just excites you as a player, knowing what we're capable of and knowing where we can be if we hit on all cylinders, you know, with the pitching, playing defense, and scoring runs. So.
Josh Hamilton with tonight's Geico quote of the game, and of course the Rangers hoping to make a little hay while the sun shines, quite literally, here at home, closing out this first or unofficial first half of the season with this 10-game homestand, guys.
All right, and Yorvi Torrealba out with a word of encouragement for Holland after he throws ball one after some tough borderline calls went against him and the walk of Bonifacio.
Yeah, 5 out of the 6 pitches have been balls, but it's not like he's wild. Every pitch that's been a ball has been pretty much just like that, except for one that was borderline low. And those things are just barely high, right at the top of the strike zone. Just going to have to bring them down a little bit.
Omar Infante in the number 2 hole for the 51st time this year. He's a much better hitter lower in the lineup. When he's 7, 8, or 9, he's a 303 hitter. This spot he hits 243. All-star last year with the Braves, hitting .321. And that is in there for a strike. And Joe West here's the mock cheer behind that call.
Good pitch. Definitely a strike.
Infante acquired last November in the Dan Uggla trade. You'd have to say both ends of that have been disappointing. Dan Uggla most of the year well below 200 with the Braves.
He struck out 4 times yesterday. Thought he was getting hot when we were in Atlanta. Looked like he was starting to swing the bat pretty well.
Infante about 70 points lower than last year. Not that the Marlins expected him to hit .320 again, but they thought somewhere in the 280s was reasonable. He's well below that.
Yeah, he's been over 300 the last 2 years. So I think they definitely were looking for 280. And they might get it. Still halfway through the season. Got a chance to get hot.
Good toss, fairly close over there. Bonifacio at first, tremendous speed. Marlins think he may be the fastest player in baseball, but still learning fundamentals, how to use that speed, how to use the green light on the base paths. Looked like he wanted to go there, and then the last instant wasn't sure that Holland wasn't going to throw over again.
Well, Derek's doing a good job of making it hard for Bonifacio to get a jump. He held on to the ball for a long time that time, and for a base runner, as long as the pitcher varies his delivery, it's going to be tough to get a jump because you really can't anticipate when he's going to go to the plate. He's got a pretty good lead. You know, pitcher can take a slide step, quicken his delivery to the plate, step off, throw over, take longer, a lot of different things. There's the slide step.
And a line drive in there for a base hit to center field. Gentry fires it back in. Bonifacio moves up to second that way, and the first 2 Marlins reach here in the first inning for Gabby Sanchez.
Get in a position where you start out the count 2 balls and no strikes after walking the leadoff hitter. You have to throw strikes. Therefore, the hitter sees your fastball. Infante saw the fastball 7 or 8 times in that at bat, fouled a couple of them off, and eventually was able to time one. You just play into the hitter's hands when you limit yourself to a fastball by being behind in the count.
Well, here is Sanchez hitting .293. Overall, very impressive numbers. 13 homers, 45 runs batted in. But of late, he has been really down a dark hole with runners in scoring position. In the month of June, he was 2 for 26. That is .077. Month of May, he hit .394 with runners in scoring position. And looks at a strike. The Marlins watchers said that the more June went on, the more the team struggled, and they finished last month 5 and 23. The more pressure Sanchez would put on himself. Jack McKeon has tried to tell him, just go up there, have fun, show good selection, swing at strikes, but have fun. Quick throw behind Bonifacio at second.
Yeah, I like the note on the Marlins. No team in history has ever gone from 10 over to 10 under faster than the Marlins did this year. 28 days.
1.1-17 in June, and it cost Edwin Rodriguez his job. He resigned, and they brought McKeon back. Managed with them 03 through 05, and had the big year in 03, National League Manager of the Year for the World Series champions. Then to the front office, he had been special assistant to the owner, Jeffrey Loria. How to play 2-2 to Sanchez. But McKeon had been keeping pretty close track of the minor leaguers with his home in North Carolina near one of their minor league franchises. So he had some familiarity with the roster. And obviously came back to the job with a lot of gravitas and has immediately gotten the ears of a very young Marlins roster, third youngest roster in the majors at the moment. Chance to break out here with a lead in the top half of the first.
Well, the one thing that Jack McKeon does when he steps into the dugout is he commands respect for his career in baseball. He's been a general manager. He's managed extensively in the minor leagues and in the big leagues. He's known as a brilliant baseball guy, a tactician. And so when he walks into the clubhouse for the first time, he gets their attention because of his track record. He's earned it.
Lifted to right center field, and Gentry started back and then came over too late to get to it, and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, that ball definitely fooled Craig. He was going back toward right center field like it was actually hit well. Instead, it was just a little blooper. You watch Craig as he goes back kind of sideways after the ball. Now he has to come in. Now, I don't know if he could have gotten to that ball anyway. It was actually closer to Nelly Cruz than it was to him. And it just might have been one of those little bloopers that not much you can do about it. But 17 pitches into the first inning, still not an out.
One of the earliest visits to the mound all year for Mike Maddox. As the batter will be Hanley Ramirez, trying to keep it going after the worst start of his career. He was hitting .200 before McKeon moved him to the cleanup spot 9 games ago, and since then he's hit .353.
Hey, you're talking about Infante being 20, 30, 40 points under what the Marlins expected. The last guy they expected to be 80 or 90 points under was Hanley Ramirez, their star.
And just 2 years ago, the National League batting champion at .342, so even 120 points below there. And he takes a little bit low. Four career grand slams. Just his third at bat this year with the bases loaded. This after the Marlins fell down early. Were never in the game last night. They can reverse that here. Strike down the middle at 95, and it's 1-1. Marlins lead the majors with scoring in the first inning of 31 games this year. They also lead the majors. They've allowed the opponents to score in the first 31 times. 2 balls and a strike. Left fielder Logan Morrison, left-hand hitter, on deck. Marlins came here after winning the last 2 games of the 3-game series at Oakland. Their first winning streak since they swept the Giants in the 3 games in late May. And again, Tom, Holland missing no more than a couple of inches on most of these calls.
Yeah, he's not all over the place, but he's definitely not throwing the ball where he wants to yet either.
So a ball away from walking in a run in an inning that began with a walk.
Well, the first pitch was a borderline pitch. It could have gone either way. He's not getting the borderline pitch, that's for sure.
Foul straight back, and now 3-2. On the 22nd pitch of the inning, 11 strikes, 11 balls. And Holland here's some encouragement. Outfield playing Ramirez deep. Gentry shading in toward right, out in center. The 3-2 pitch. In the air and hit well to right. Cruz is back, and that one is gone. A grand slam for Hanley Ramirez. Gets the Marlins off to a big first inning. Home run number 6 out of the year for Ramirez. 4-0 Florida.
Fastball up and away. Borderline pitch. We've seen that pitch called a ball a couple times, actually. And Ramirez just sneaks it out. And what Derek's got to do now after 23 pitches, you got to put the 4 runs behind him. Nothing you can do about that. And now get 3 quick outs and get your team back in the dugout and keep it at 4 runs. Hold them there, and the Ranger bats will come back and score some runs for you.
374 feet, the estimated distance. And he gets out in front of Logan Morrison, now 0-2. So Hanley Ramirez continues his revival since big move to the 4 hole.
If you're able, if you're ahead in the count a little bit more, you can throw your other pitches. Just for 4 batters, Derek pretty much has been limited to his fastball because he's been behind in the count and he's needed to throw strikes. But you jump ahead of someone like Ramirez, you can shoot that slider down and in, try to get him to swing at a bad pitch. But he hasn't had that luxury because he hasn't been ahead in the count yet.
Well, ahead of Morrison, no balls and 2 strikes. And this should result in the first out of the game. It's Mitch Moreland handling it unassisted.
You get ahead in the count, you use your curveball, and you get a weak ground ball for an out.
So there's one. And now the DH, Mike Stanton. Stanton last night 1 for 4. Run batted in, like most of the Marlins. He was unable to do anything at all against Alexi Ogando until the 7th inning, and then they were able to put together some decent innings, chasing Ogando after 6 2/3. Cruz chases this one. It slices back well into the seats. And the Marlins making it look a whole lot better with a little 2-out top of the 9th outburst last night. Still their worst loss of the year at 15-5. They're reaching back to blow that one past him at 93. 1-2.
Well, while Stanton can launch a long home run, he's also a little bit prone to the strikeout.
This will also end up in the seats.
Pretty much the exact same pitch he swung and missed at the one before it.
Stanton 7th in homers, but 4th in strikeouts with 85. I don't know if anybody's going to catch Drew Stubbs this year. And a swing and a miss. Had a good Holland curve for out number 2.
The big difference between the last 2 hitters and the first 4 is he's jumped ahead in the count to where the hitter doesn't know what pitch might be coming and has been able to utilize his breaking ball. Last couple of outs have come with a nice curveball. We'll put the 4 runs behind Derek and just come back and pitch well from here on out. Be shocked if the Ranger bats don't bail you right out of this quick.
Yeah, this is anything but Florida putting anything away or out of reach after the Rangers' biggest scoring night of the year just 24 hours ago, the 15 runs. John Buck, another offensive disappointment, coming in at 216 on the year. mostly because of a poor month of May. Barely hit 200. Exciting after his career year last year as a Blue Jay. 3-year free agent contract at $18 million. But not getting much done on the road or at home this year. Last year with Toronto, 281, 20 homers, 66 runs batted in about 2/3 of the season, 118 games. Just inside for ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Holland. And another one, Joe West got right. Holland definitely has seen enough of the strike zone tonight to know that he's got to get it completely within that tracking zone. As the borderline calls at this early juncture definitely going for the hitters. Strike one to Wes Helms, getting the start at third tonight.
Yeah, the other side of it is every single hitter has been up there taking the first pitch. Not just taking it because it's been a ball. They would have taken it if it was a strike. You can tell by the way they've approached the swing. They're up there taking a pitch. And Derek has had a very difficult time throwing strike one.
Boy, 39 pitches too. And you saw Tommy Hunter up in the bullpen. Tommy just activated yesterday. And from the looks of things, he may get a good long look tonight out of the bullpen. That's in there for a strike.
Yeah, and the situation for the Rangers is they're two guys that have been used in long rolls. Kirkman and Bush aren't with the team now, so they really don't have someone down in the bullpen that you would call a long man right now.
Michael Kirkman, it was announced just before our first pitch, sent down as Darren O'Day has been activated. So the look of the Rangers bullpen could really be transformed just over these last 24 hours. The moves to get Hunter and O'Day back to help out that group, which has been pitching pretty short-handed most of the year. In on the fists. Helms keeps that one alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Darren O'Day on the disabled list since April 27th with a torn labrum in his hip. If you see his numbers from last year in 72 games. Helms checks his swing. That's confirmed down at first by Lance Barrett. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So if O'Day can come back at anything close to his level of effectiveness last year, that's a huge boost potentially for the 7th or the 8th innings. And Tommy Hunter in his rehab outings at AAA Round Rock showing way more velocity than he has ever shown as a starter, getting up to 96, 97 miles per hour in his last outing there night before last. Two pitch just missing. Another full count. 4 of the first 8 Marlin batters have gone to 3 balls. Hanley's slam was on a 3-2 pitch. Helms waiting for the 3-2 pitch. It will be the 46th pitch of the inning for Holland. The story of much of Derek's year, the bad inning. Giving up a lot of runs with 2 outs. Maybe just getting it out of the way early tonight. That one in there in deep left center field. To the wall it goes. And John Buck will come home to make it 5-0. 3-2 pitch ends up in an RBI double for Wes Helms.
That could very well be the last hitter right there.
And Ron Washington has seen enough after this pitch. Got it down, but also got it right over the heart of the plate. Helms picks up his 6th run batted in of the year. So an abbreviated 46 pitch, 2/3 of an inning for Derek Holland. And Tommy Hunter will come in to make his first appearance of the 2011 season. But not before Ron Washington. Tom has a few points to make to Derek Holland. So a very rough outing for Derek is complete after just 2 outs. And when we come back, the 2011 debut of Tommy Hunter. In way earlier than he could ever have imagined to make his first appearance of the year with the Rangers. And of course, he has been battling groin misery since the tail end of spring training. But he comes in with this track record: 22 wins against 12 losses. Last year came in late after another late spring injury, but won his first 8 decisions, finished the year 13-4. Working out of the bullpen at AAA Round Rock. In shorter stints, he's been able to find some velocity that really hasn't been there since his amateur days at the University of Alabama, then pitching in the Cape Cod League and for Team USA. He was mid to high 90s there, and we'll see what he has for Brian Peterson. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, first pitch strike.
Tommy just off the DL yesterday. And at 96, he's out ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. He did say before the game that after throwing at 96, 97, night before last, he was feeling it. He was a little bit sore when he got up yesterday morning. Yesterday, a very long day. Got the word late on Thursday night that he would be called up, so got up early. Drove up I-35 to be in uniform for tomorrow night. 1-2 to Peterson. Himself just called up.
Yeah, I think what the Rangers are hoping with Tommy is that he can become an alternative late in the ball game. Mark Lowe right now is an 8th inning, 7th and 8th inning guy, hard throwing right-hander. The hopes is that Tommy Hunter can be another one that you can use late in the ball game. The curveball right there that Peterson got a piece of. You know, if he can develop into that, and if Mark Lowe continues to show progress in that role, then maybe you don't have to give up a group of terrific young prospects to go out and make a trade for that guy. A lot of teams are looking for bullpen help. The teams that have it and are willing to trade it going to be in a pretty good situation. Definitely a seller's market in that regard. A little bit more parity in the standings. A lot of teams right now are still considering themselves contenders. And teams are reluctant to trade away important pieces because they don't know that they might not be in it right till the end.
Peterson fouling off another fastball that's all 95 to 96 here this at bat, but so far a 6-pitch at bat. After Derek Holland threw 46 pitches to get 2 outs. 5 runs on 4 hits, including the Ramirez grand slam, a strikeout, 2 walks. They both scored. Helms at second, and Peterson works the count full. This for Brian Peterson, his second stint with the Marlins. 4 games earlier this year, then back down to New Orleans, where he was good enough to be named a Pacific Coast League All-Star based on his first half. 3-2 pitch is lofted to center field. Gentry has the beat on this one, and Tommy Hunter comes in to finally get the 3rd out of the first inning. The Marlins bat around in almost half an hour. They take a 5-0 lead. Finally, we'll get a chance to bat the bottom half of the first inning. Now the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for Ron Washington, again with Ian Kinsler leading off, to be followed by Andrews, Hamilton, Beltre, Young, Cruz, Moreland, Torrealba, and Craig Gentry batting 9th in center field, and they are facing 21-year-old Brad Hand.
He's had 3 starts this year in the big leagues. One of them was a really good start. His first start, he only gave up 1 hit and 1 run in 6 innings. He was a 2nd-round pick in 2008. High school player from Minnesota. Got to the big leagues really quickly. A lot of his time has been spent this year in Double-A. He was sent back to the big leagues after his 3rd major league start. And his last 2 starts in the minor leagues haven't really gone that well. He's given up 11 runs and 9 walks in 10 2/3 innings in his last 2 minor league starts.
He pours in strike 1 to Ian Kinsler, who was 0 for 3 with a walk for the 2nd straight game last night.
Well, having walked 9 in 10 2/3 in his last 2 starts, I think what the Rangers need to do is make sure they're patient and don't help him out.
First 2 pitches in there. And 6'3", 220 pounds.
He's throwing every pitch he has. Fastball, curveball, and changeup. First 3 pitches.
Can throw his fastball with some good heavy sinking motion, power curve. They say one of the best in their organization. And Kinsler sends one right out to Ramirez. Defensively for Florida tonight, their outfield, Logan Morrison, Emilio Bonifacio, and Brian Peterson, with Helms at third, Ramirez, Infante, and Sanchez around the rest of the infield, and John Buck doing the catching. Here's Elvis, who scored 3 runs last night, tying the most for any Ranger this year on only 1 hit. Reached on a walk in the fielder's choice. And has been getting on base. 8 of his last 11 plate appearances he's done so. And shows bunt. Takes ball 2. The 2/3 of an inning start by Derek Holland, the shortest of his career, shortest by a Ranger since Brandon McCarthy, 2008. Also retired just 2 batters. So a huge early cushion for Brad Hand in his 4th career major league start. And 3 balls and a strike now to Elvis.
Be patient right here. Make him throw you 2 straight strikes. Elvis is usually pretty good at that. Don't help him out. Ooh. That's one pitch that Joe West has been calling, that low inside strike to a right-hand hitter. Called it a couple of times to Marlin hitters, as a matter of fact. The way Buck catches this ball, it doesn't look like a strike. But according to the Fox tracks, it was.
That foul ball has Buck down on all 4s. And he will take a moment. He'll also get checked by a Marlin trainer. And when they're ready, it will be 3-2. Here's what happened to him. Owl took that to bad spot. Not much a trainer can do, just maybe distract him, and now he is dispatched back to the dugout, and Buck momentarily will be ready for the 3-2 pitch. Five runs for Brad Hand, an embarrassment of riches after the Marlins scored just 2 total runs for him in his first 3 starts. Line shot again right at an infielder. Infante this time for the second out.
2 balls hit right on the nose, right at the infielders.
So, Josh Hamilton batting. After this pitch was scorched right at Infante, had Elvis played perfectly. Josh last night, 2 for 2, an RBI double, walked twice, one of which was intentional. Scored 2. As many hits as he had in his previous 4 games. He was 2 for 16. So the average started to creep back a little bit, back toward 300. Josh still the all-time interleague career leader. Right up around 370 most of the time. 2 balls and a strike. 6 games against the Marlins. He's a .500 hitter, 12 for 24, including a home run. I'd expect the Hand to give him something to hit there at 2-0, but he fouls it off. Hand in his major league debut June 7th against the Braves, a 1-hit, 1-run effort over 6 innings. And he lost 1-0. Second player since 1900 to lose a major league debut of 6 or more innings, allowing only 1 base hit. Breaking ball, ground ball, base hit. So Hamilton aboard with 2 outs in the first for Adrian Beltre. I think you know the other player line in his major league debut. 6 innings, 1 hit. Mike Thompson, Washington, 1971.
Mike Thompson was a second or third round draft choice, if I remember right, out of Ponca City, Oklahoma. Probably back in 1966, 7, right around in there. And he was a big, tall right-hander, had a great sinker. Didn't have a radar gun back then, but he was probably 93, 94 miles an hour. Kind of like Kevin Brown type pitcher. Zipped through the minor leagues, got to the Washington Senators quickly, had the game you're talking about, and then never really put it together. And boy, he had a lot of talent.
Beltre with a big cut, 1 ball and 1 strike. Adrian last night 3 for 4, 4 runs batted in, a single, 2 doubles, scored twice. After a very frustrating 3 games in Houston in which he was 2 for 13. Made the last out of the inning in all 4 of his at-bats in the Thursday night loss. That one is ripped toward the gap. Base hit will send Hamilton around to third base. And the Rangers now with 2 outs in their half of the first have a threat brewing with runners on the corners for Michael Young.
Now he's got 2 outs, but both outs were line shots, right at the second baseman, right at the shortstop. Well, he hadn't fooled anybody through 4 hitters yet, but he's got 2 outs. Well hit ball by Beltre right there.
Last night tonight so far, it looks like Adrian is on the pitches he was just missing in the Houston series.
Yeah, he's had some good pitches to hit, and he's definitely taken advantage of them.
So here Michael Young now working on a 9-game home hitting streak.
Yeah, if you're Joe West, the home plate umpire, you're thinking to yourself, boy, I guess I better settle in. It might be here a while tonight.
A little bit high for ball 1. This first inning at the 40-minute mark. After the Marlins took 28 minutes to score their 5 in the top half of the inning.
Well, you know, when we get to the 3rd inning and I have to, when I choose to talk about our food, I wouldn't have enough time to talk about the recipes tonight. I think I'll tell all the ingredients of all the food tonight.
Thank everybody by name, by home address. This is hit high, not that deep to right field, and Peterson on the edge of the track there for out number 3. So no runs for the Rangers in the first. 2 hits, 2 left. On to the second, 5-0.
Dave, Ranger fans ready for a big comeback tonight? You bet. He's ready. There we go. Rangers will also like to salute the heroes this evening. That's right, the Texas Rangers are proud supporters of active and retired military members, and they are enjoying each and every year when they have a chance in the off-season to visit military bases in Texas and Oklahoma, as well as VA hospitals. Texas Rangers say thank you very much for a job well done and supporting everyone's freedom. Dave?
All right, and Bonifacio reaches on a bunt right out in front of the plate that Torrealba threw high to Moreland at first.
Yeah, he really didn't bunt the ball where he wanted to, and it's a relatively easy play for the catcher. Unfortunately, he just airmailed it to first base.
E2 on Jorvit. Rangers' 68th error of the season. That ties them with the Cubs for the most in the majors. And Bonifacio, who set the tone for the first by working a walk, aboard at first base for Infante. Bonifacio 8 out of 11 when he attempts to steal. And Hunter misses high for ball one. Well, maybe Tommy's birthday weekend can go as well as Nelson Cruz's has so far. Nelson last night, as he turned 31, equaled his career high with 6 runs batted in, 3-run homer, 3-run triple. Tommy will turn 25 tomorrow. There goes Bonifacio, and the throw late, and it gets through Andrews, and that will allow him to move up to third. Another error on Torrealba. Stolen base, number 9 for Bonifacio. And E2.
Big lead, good jump, stolen base right through the wickets. He slipped. You could see Torrealba slip when he threw that. Caused him to pull it toward shortstop, bounce it. Elvis wasn't able to block it. Goes through his legs for an error.
These are the 5th and 6th errors this season charged to Torrealba. So a very bad first inning. The second's not starting any better at all. 3 balls and no strikes to Infante. The Rangers playing the infield up, and he takes that one in there for a strike.
It's got a chance to be one of those games where you see about 5 or 6 guys out of the bullpen tonight.
Three and 2. Breaking ball there from Tommy, who his last 4 total outings at Round Rock, he said that threw maybe a total of 3 off-speed pitches. Everything else, the mid to high 90s fastballs.
No, that's the cutter that he's been working on at 90 miles an hour. That can be a great pitch for him.
Got a huge amount of break to it, and he strikes him out on the high heat there. So there's the first out of the inning. And we'll bring up Gabby Sanchez.
I think that was also a cutter. I think it didn't have the same break to it, but it proved to be an effective pitch. The cutter will be 89, 90 miles an hour, sometimes 91 miles an hour. Essentially a fastball that you cut to make move a little bit.
Sanchez.
The idea of the cutter is to keep the hitter from hitting it on the good part of the bat. Throw it to a left-hand hitter, you're trying to get it on the handle a little bit. To a right-hand hitter toward the end of the bat, just so he can't hit the ball off the sweet spot of the bat.
Sanchez a single and a run on the Ramirez slam in the first. Very high toward the line is Cruz, and just does run out of the room. Now, Tommy has been used in short relief outings in the minors. Should he almost consider this a start at this point? Should that be his approach?
Pretty much. I think he has to look at it that way. There's really not another long guy in the bullpen. Tadayama pitched last night. He could give you a couple of innings. And, you know, the rest of the guys could pitch an inning, 2/3 or 2 innings, but there's really not a long man down there. And even though Tommy has pitched in shorter stints lately, he's been stretched out as a starter before that. So I think he's got to be looking at this, that he's going to pitch as long as his stamina holds up. You know, that's why it's important for him to throw a lot of strikes, have some quick outs, have some quick innings. You know, so hopefully he can pitch 3, 4, maybe 5 innings in the game. You know, eventually, when things settle down, he may develop into a late inning bullpen guy, but that's not his, you're right, that's not his role tonight.
He's been going all out on each batter because he's only going to face him once. Whereas as a starter, he says first time through, job is to get him out on fastballs. Second and third times around show his extra pitches.
Just missed with that slider. You see the difference between his slider and the cutter. It's about 8 or 9 miles an hour, and the slider breaks a little bit more, goes down a little bit more, almost like a hard curveball. Didn't quite get the ball on the outside corner.
This one very high, medium deep center field.
Gentry's got a good arm.
Here comes the runner home, and Bonifacio makes it 6-0.
That's a good throw too. Bonifacio, as you've said, is one of the faster guys in the National League, and Craig made it a relatively close play. Nice strong throw home. He's got, I think, almost any runner at third is going to get the call to tag up and try to score on this play because it's relatively deep. But there's a lot of runners that would have been out on that throw, even though it was up the line a little bit. Unfortunately, Bonifacio is not one of them.
So an unearned run, 6-0. And here is Ramirez, who on a 3-2 pitch sent one 374 feet for a grand slam home run, his 6th home run of the year. And another pop-up toward the middle. Ian Kinsler grabs out number 3. So an unearned run helped by 2 errors by Torrealba to make it 6-0.
Hi, this is David Murphy of the Texas Rangers. I just want to thank all the men and women of the armed forces and say thank you for all that you do and all the sacrifices that you make so that we can be here and enjoy our national pastime. Thank you and God bless.
And thanks to David Murphy for participating in our Salute to Heroes all weekend long here on Fox Sports West. Independence Day weekend. Rangers second. We'll feature Cruz, Moreland, and Torrealba down 6-0. Brad Hand in the first inning got out of a 2-on, 2-out jam, and he retires Cruz on 2 pitches after last night. Well, he delivered our Coors Light cold hard blast. With this 3-run home run over the Rangers bullpen out in right center field. He would later triple in 3 into the right field corner. And Tom, for Cruz to be getting some hits toward the middle and to the opposite field has to be a good sign.
I think that's a good sign for any hitter. Driving the ball back through the middle, hitting it where it's pitched, just makes you a better hitter.
Moreland last night 0 for 4, hit some towering fly balls that he just got under a little bit out to center and right center field. Sends that one foul the opposite way. Ball and a strike. Mitch on a little bit of a downswing. The average down from 299 to 282. Over his last 9 games, he's 5 for 30. Most of the hits, though, have left the yard as the curve stays high. 2-1. Three of his 11 homers coming over the last 8 games. And 3 balls and a strike. And out there to throw strikes, get quick outs as he did against Cruz. But coming in, 9 walks in 15 2/3. Ground ball. Infante goes to the deck to his left. Join the Rangers on a VIP road trip to Boston Labor Day weekend. Enjoy great seats, a VIP tour of Fenway Park, including the chance to get behind the Green Monster, hotel accommodations, and the opportunity to meet a current Rangers player. For more information, visit TexasRangers.com/road trips. That would be a memorable opportunity indeed out in Boston and Fenway Park.
If you like baseball history and you want to watch the Rangers on the road, you can't go to a better park than Fenway. That would be my first choice.
It's one of the very few ways to even get tickets to a game at
That's
Fenway
right.
Park. Well, Torrealba, no doubt thinking about how he can make up for his top half of the second inning when he committed back-to-back throwing errors, enabling Bonifacio to score their 6th run. Gorvie, one of the hottest Ranger hitters until his last couple of games at Houston. He went 0 for 6. So that dropped him down for the month of June to 12th in the American League. Still an outstanding month. He had 338. And in his last 18 games, 377. Feeling more comfortable at the plate. Not really the result of any technical changes. Out in front of the off-speed pitch there, and it's 2-2. Brad Hand, great all-around athlete at Chaska High School in Minnesota. Their Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year. High, but not that deep, out to center field, and Bonifacio is there to end a 1-2-3 inning. Just what Brad Hand was looking for with a 6-0 lead. Brought to you by Geico Insurance, where 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by AT&T, rethink possible. Taking us a while, we get to inning number 3, about an hour into this game. Dave Barnett along with Tom Grieve. 6-0 Marlins. They chased Derek Holland with a 5-run first. He left after 46 pitches, getting just 2 outs. Tommy Hunter has retired 4 of the first 5 batters he has faced. Gave up an unearned run in the second. Logan Morrison was the first out of the game, grounding to first. Immediately following the Hanley Ramirez grand slam. Tommy Hunter now with 24 pitches, 16 for strikes. We'll see how long he can go. And at least try and keep this no worse than a 6-run deficit. And before I forget, he wanted to say hi to his parents. Thank them for bringing him into the world 25 years ago tomorrow. Ray and Pam, proud parents of Raymond Thomas Hunter. Good pitch there to get to 2-2. Oh, there's a birthday offer for him.
You need an answer tonight?
Ripped over Moreland and into the right field corner, and that'll be extra bases for Logan Morrison. A leadoff double.
Oh, nice swing by Morrison right there at that inside fastball. Quick bat.
And let's check in with Emily Jones.
Well, you guys were talking about Tommy Hunter's increased velocity that he displayed in AAA round walk. His eyes lit up when I asked him about lighting up the Raider gun in AAA.
Hopefully it's not a a one-time thing. Hopefully it happens time and time again. But it's gonna take work. Gonna take I got to get used to it. And the only way you can is to go through it. So the more I get out there, the more I can try to help this ball club.
And obviously Tommy's still adjusting to exactly what his role will be on this club. He thought he was going to be in short relief situations. Obviously today's situation called for a bit of a different circumstance for Tommy to pitch into tonight, but seems to be settling in pretty nicely, guys.
I just gave up his first base hit, and that's in there for a strike to Stanton. 1-1. Stanton struck out for the second and final out recorded by Holland his first time up. Just off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Stanton, second-round pick out of Notre Dame High School in Southern California, 2007. Is a tremendous all-around athlete. Right back to Hunter, and he looks to get the lead man Morrison in a rundown. Beltre chases him toward Andrews, and Elvis will make the tag for the out as Stanton makes second base.
Yeah, that's a bad rundown. Anytime you get a guy in a rundown and the batter gets to second base, you haven't executed the rundown properly. I think all the fielders threw the ball a little bit too soon, and Elvis ends up running him down toward third base. Tommy gets rid of the ball too quickly, number one. Elvis is not moving toward the runner when he gets the ball from Adrian. He has to run all the way to third base, and now the runner ends up on second. Run him. Elvis start moving a little bit toward the runner right here, and then he can make the tag. Now he's got to chase the runner. While he's chasing the runner, the batter goes to second base. Now you're not in play for a double play right now. So you get the rundown, but not quick enough.
1-5-6 to retire Morrison. Stanton, the 2-base fielder's choice. So Elvis basically should have been narrowing the gap before he came in to get that throw.
As Adrian starts running toward him, kind of his cue to throw the ball is Elvis comes toward the runner. He gets the ball, and then you can make the tag quickly. But ideally, you make the tag going toward second base so that the hitter can't get to second base. You run him toward third, and he just trots right into second base.
Now, do you want Hunter to run right at Morrison?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You run right at him, make him commit. Technically, you run at him so you kind of herd him back toward second base. You keep running, one throw, tag, and he's out. That's ideally the best way to do it. I think right off the bat, Tommy threw the ball too quickly.
2 balls to the strike to Buck. Is that the kind of thing that's covered in pitchers' fielding practice?
Yeah.
In the spring.
Oh yeah, you work on rundown plays, but you still have to execute.
So the end result, Stanton in scoring position with 1 out.
I think on that.
Nice diving catch out there in right field by Cruz.
It really looks like the ball's not carrying the way the outfielders think it's going to carry. Well, he had to come in and make that diving play, but he did so nicely. And it jams him a little bit. He loops it toward right. Well, he's just able to make the catch. I think probably what happened on that play with Tommy Hunter is the ball was a smash by Stanton, and Tommy speared the ball, and then I'm sure his adrenaline was pumping, and he just fired the ball probably without thinking to the third baseman. But still, even after that throw, I think between Beltre and Andrus, they can make that rundown play quicker and in a way where Stanton has to stay at first base.
Strike 1 to Helms, who doubled in the 5th run of the 1st inning. It's a little different wind than usual. Usually it's coming in from right center field. For the jet stream today, it's coming in from left field.
Yeah, I think the ball that Michael hit to right field on some days gets a big boost from the wind. It went up, maybe right to the right fielder, a couple of steps back to field that ball, but he hit it pretty well, hit it solidly. But the jet stream didn't affect it at all because there isn't the jet stream tonight. And the pop-up that fell in early in the game looked like the wind knocked that down too.
Short right field here, and the trademark basket catch over the shoulder by Kinsler. So Hunter works around the leadoff double by Morrison to keep it 6-0.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Chad Carroll, stationed here at Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan. I'd like to wish all my family and friends from Cleburne, Texas, a happy 4th of July and wish the Rangers continued success this season. Go Rangers!
And we thank him for participating in our Salute to Heroes all weekend long here at the ballpark. Rangers in the third will have Gentry, then the top of the order, Kinsler and Andrews. Granahan, 36 pitches now. Only 19 for strikes. He's given up 2 base hits, singles by Hamilton and Beltre, with 2 outs in the first. This one will chase Bonifacio back. Still going back in center field with room on the edge of the track. And with one of our heroes here this weekend, back to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Dave. With Sergeant Bell, he is with the 36th Infantry Army Band. You played the national anthem before the game. It has to be extra special for you, closing in on the 4th of July, playing in front of a big crowd like this.
It is. For me, it's a time that I get to honor and respect the fighting forces of our military. And to me, it's just wonderful to be in front of a large crowd so that they can be part of what this unit is.
All right, now tomorrow you have another performance. Where's that going to be?
It will be at Dallas Arboretum at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
There we go. Well, continued success. Thank you for everything you do. Appreciate it, Dave.
Yeah, they did a tremendous job in the national anthem tonight. Thanks for that. Here's Kinsler, 0-1.
Dave, I want to thank the Berger family of Fort Worth and their guest from Olympia, Washington, for the lemon squares that they sent up. They're out here at the ballpark tonight. And also the McLeans, Carol and Darrell from Groesbeck. They sent up a great batch of chocolate chip cookies. So thank you both for the sweets.
You keeping those recipes handy just in case?
I got the recipes. And also for the people that hate it when we talk about food, there's your 20 seconds. Take a deep breath. It's over. Back to the ball game. You didn't miss anything.
Deep to left on a 3-1 pitch and out of here. Another home run for Ian Kinsler. What a week. Going deep for Ian.
Well, he hit the ball hard the first time up, too. He hit a curveball the first time up. Line shot to shortstop. The Rangers actually, one time through the lineup, had 4 balls right on the nose that were caught for outs. Second time through the lineup, the only one that could catch that was one of the fans.
Number 12 of the year for Kinsler. Ian in Houston went deep on 3 consecutive at-bats. His last at-bat on Tuesday and his first 2 on Wednesday. That one landing just over the railing. And the Rangers are on the board. And it's 2-0 on Elvis. He's getting some good pitches to pull. And he is jumping all over him these last couple of series.
Now that's the pitch that Joe West has consistently called tonight. Borderline pitch. Usually the Fox tracks shows that it's in the strike zone. Hitters don't like that call, but I think Joe's making the right call. They are strikes.
Up the middle, Ramirez actually steps on second base before delivering the throw for out number 2. Our Ford leaderboard tonight. We look at most games with 10 or more hits this year. The Rangers last night did it for the 37th time. The 11th in their last 15 games. So they're tied with the Reds and the Orioles, 5 back of the Tigers. Josh Hamilton singled in his first trip. He sends this one deep to right and out of here. Number 9 for Josh. It's 6-2. So there's a start on a comeback.
Looks like a changeup that he threw down and in. Didn't fool Josh, though.
Only question, how deep would it go? About halfway back in the seats on the lower level out there. So Kinsler hits his 12th, Josh his 9th. And it's a 4-run game. for Adrian Beltre, who singled his first trip.
No, the one thing that Hand hasn't done is walk anybody in the game. We talked about how in his last 2 minor league starts, he'd walked 9 batters in 10 2/3 innings. He hasn't walked anybody. The Rangers have hit the ball pretty hard through 2 outs in the 3rd inning. But at least he has kept guys off base on the base on balls.
And that may be coming here as he falls behind Adrian 3-0. There it is. 4-pitch walk. So an opportunity here for Michael Young, who hit it well his first time up. Flied out to right with Hamilton at third, Beltre at first to end the first inning. And Randy St. Clair, the Marlins pitching coach, will go out and talk to Brad Hand before this at bat. So Michael again will come up with 2 outs. The Kinsler home run, 382 feet.
Jack McKeon's getting the bullpen going quick. They haven't been winning too many games in the last month. He's got 6 runs on the board early, and what he's saying is, I want the kid to get his chance, but at the same time, I don't want to blow these 6 runs we got early in the ball game either.
So Steve Cishek begins to throw out there.
Marlins have a pretty good bullpen. They've got some names you might not have heard of, but most of them are throwing the ball pretty well this year.
On the Hamilton home run, 395 feet. Marlins are down 1 arm in the bullpen from last night. Ryan Webb on the DL with shoulder irritation. They had 9 bullpen arms out there last night, 8 tonight. And trying to get through the 3rd. This will be his 53rd pitch of the night. Evenly split, 26 balls, 26 strikes. Just misses there, and it's 1-1. Michael, 5th in the league with runners in scoring position. Big breaking ball there, and it's 1-2. And finally getting some runs after he got only 2 total in his first 3 starts. Now trying not to give all of them back. Right field, Peterson in just a couple of steps. And Michael again flies to right to end the inning. But the Rangers get their first 2 runs on the board. With 1 out, Kinsler 382 feet to left. With 2 outs, Hamilton 395 feet to right, and it's 6-2. Southwest is brought to you by Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Chevrolet. See your North Texas Chevy dealers for Independence Day savings. We go to the fourth. Dave Barnett along with Tom Grieve. Ian Kinsler going deep to get the Rangers started on what they hope will be a big comeback, continued by Josh Hamilton. And here in the fourth inning, Tommy Hunter will face the 9-1-2 hitters, Brian Peterson, Emilio Bonifacio, and Omar Infante. Tommy at 38 pitches, 24 strikes, through 2 1/3 innings in relief of Derek Holland, who was gone after just 2/3 of an inning, allowing 5 first inning runs in his shortest outing of his career as a starter. Peterson was the first batter Hunter faced, and he came in with 5 runs already home, and Wes Helms at second base after a double. Peterson worked the count full before flying out to Gentry in center field. And he bounces this one to Kinsler at second base. All-you-can-eat seats are available in Upper Home Run Porch for every home game. All-you-can-eat seats include unlimited grilled chicken sandwiches, hot dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, and soft drinks, all served in the Upper Home Run Porch Grill. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. That is a great way to watch Ranger baseball. Having sampled it as a civilian, I can testify.
Unlimited chicken sandwiches. That's pretty good.
Bonifacio got the first inning started with a walk. And the second inning he started by bunting and reaching on the first of 2 throwing errors that inning by Torey Alba.
Yeah, the first one was an easy play. The second one he had to rush his throw and he slipped, and it was a ball that maybe Elvis could have blocked. But Bonifacio shouldn't have got on in the first place, and I'm sure Yorvit would be the first one to say that. The ball was just barely out in front of the plate.
We're seeing Hunter continue to mix his pitches in long relief after he came in and was firing 95, 96 mile-an-hour fastballs in the first and in the second. Starting to feature more cutters, breaking balls.
Yeah, I think what Tommy has shown today is that if he is used as a late inning bullpen guy 1 inning at a time, then you're liable to see 93 to 96.
And he'll handle that one unassisted.
Look at a big guy get over there on that play. Nice play. Tommy shows he's a big guy, but he's pretty agile for a big guy too. Be able to pounce on that ball. If he doesn't field this ball, it's a base hit for Bonifacio. Well, the only chance was for him to field it and to get there before Bonifacio, and he did it nicely. But what Tommy has shown is if he's going to pitch for an inning, then you've got a chance to see that 93, 94, 5, maybe 96. But if he's going to pitch as a starter or as a long reliever, you may see it early, but then eventually he'll settle into 89 to 92. But it's nice to see that if it is a 1 inning shot as a late inning guy, he does have that velocity, and he can go right after the 3 or 4 hitters he faces, the 15 or 16 pitches that he might throw with that kind of velocity. That's a real plus.
Good curve for strike 1 to Infante. Tommy really looking the way he did, especially the first half of last year. 2-out single here by Infante, really settling in and looking very comfortable on the mound again. We are down to the remaining 2 greatest moments in MLB All-Star Game history. In the AL, it's Cal Ripken's Swan Song in 2001. And in the NL, it is Stan Musial's Midsummer Magic in 1955. Go to MLB.com/moments and vote now for your favorite Midsummer classics, and tune into the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Tuesday, July 12th, 7 o'clock on Fox. Find out who won. Cruz retires Gabby Sanchez, and that does it for the Marlin 4th inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Tommy Hunter cruising and enjoying it. trivia question. What Major League record did Nolan Ryan set on this date in 1990? Nolan would remember. Can you come up with it? As in the Ranger fourth, it'll be Cruz, Moreland, and Torrealba. Brad Hand, 21-year-old rookie from Minneapolis, making his fourth Major League start, has thrown 28 strikes against 27 balls. But has allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. The solo shots last inning by Kinsler and Hamilton. Cruz grounded to second his first time up. And the bottom of the zone strike still hard to come by against Joe West.
And make him throw you a strike here. Okay, threw a quality strike, low and away. Still in the driver's seat. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Just inside there, 3-1. A leadoff walk. Big no-no with a 6-2 lead. Ranger fans come out to the Whataburger in Dallas at I-30 and Cockrell Hill at 11 a.m. Wednesday, July 6th for your chance to meet Matt Harrison. While you're there, sign up to be the Whataburger Whata-fan and register to win 4 tickets in the owner's seats for the Rangers-Indians game on September 13th. Well, meet Matt, I guarantee you will enjoy it. Mitch Moreland, like Cruz, grounded to second his first time up. And he gets Hand to throw him strike 1. Brad Hand, a 2nd-round pick out of Chaska High School, Minnesota, 2008. He was a star there in football, hockey, and as a first baseman on the baseball team. Signed with the Marlins instead of playing at Arizona State. In the minors, he is exactly break even, 26-26. 78 outings, all but 2 in a starting role with an ERA of just under 4. Moreland just barely taps at breaking ball, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. With Jacksonville, he was 7-2 before being called up. And the club there won 10 consecutive starts by Brad Hand before last Monday when they lost to Charlotte 7-2. And that, for Hand, snapped a career best 7-game winning streak in the minors. That brought him up to 500. Another breaking ball, a little more wood, still foul, still 0-2.
Well, Jack McKeon's got C-check up again. He's not going to give a whole lot of rope to Brad Hand in this game with a 6-2 lead. Especially when you've been losing games like the Marlins have been losing. He'll use the bullpen as long as he has to tonight to try to maintain the lead.
If the Rangers make it close, the recent history says the Marlins will find a way to lose. Wednesday they beat Oakland 5-4, ending a streak of 14 straight losses in 1-run games, which takes that one a little bit inside. 2-2. Marlins first 2 months of the season doing just fine, and then they ran into June and things started to go haywire, and then they just completely fell in on themselves, losing 17 of 18 at one point, leading to the resignation of Edwin Rodriguez, bringing on the second Jack McKeon era.
It's funny how they could go 10 or 12 games over the first 2 months of the year, then lose 17 out of 18. The manager all of a sudden got dumb in 3 weeks after a 2-month good start, but that's the way baseball works.
Left field, but Logan Morrison able to go back and bring that one in.
5th hard hit ball for an out so far in the ball game. And is kind of hanging in there right now, but the Rangers have actually hit the ball better than 2 runs might indicate. Good at bat for Mitch right there. He got behind no balls and 2 strikes. Hung in there and lined a ball that looked like it might be a base hit. Morrison was able to run it down.
So here's Torrealba, 1 out, 1 on. He flied to center his first trip. Yeah, Tom, the Rangers have been hitting it hard literally from the very beginning of this game. It started with 2 lineouts in the first by Kinsler and Andrews. And then Hamilton and Beltre both single, but Young flied out, and hard hit balls in the 3rd left the yard for Kinsler and Hamilton.
Gentry hit a ball hard to the warning track in center field. Marlins hit a couple of balls hard. A smash to second, that hard hit ball to left.
So many times you hear managers talk about how a team will get down early and then everybody tries to hit an 8-run home run.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. That hasn't happened today. I think the Rangers have been patient. You do see that a lot. Each guy thinks that they're the one that has to do it.
In the case of a game like this, Rangers down 5-0 before they even grabbed a bat for the first time. But they had literally the whole game trying to make the comeback.
Yep, you're right. You don't have to get it all at once. Get 1 here, 2 there, claw your way back in, get another walk and a base hit. Someone hits one out of here, and bang! All of a sudden, there you are. Got a chance of being his last hitter if he walks Torrealba.
In there at 3-0.
A great pitch to hit right here. You've seen the fastball. Second time up, 3-1 count. If he throws you something other than the fastball, fine. But well, you got to be ready if he throws you a good fastball to hit right here.
71 pitches, 36 balls, 35 strikes. Ball 4, his 2nd walk of the 4th inning.
3 walks out of the last 5 guys.
And Jack McKeon has seen enough. So Brad Hand at his 4th major league start, lasting 3 1/3. Stick to a 6-0 lead. He turns it over at 6-2 to Steve Cishek when we come back.
Hi, this is Colby Lewis. I just want to say a quick thank you to all of our troops out there supporting our freedom, doing what you guys do best, and I just wish that you guys stay safe. You guys are doing a great job, and just really hope that we can see you home soon, and thank you again.
Part of our ongoing salute to our heroes all this weekend. Brad Hand gone after 3 1/3 innings. 2 runs, 4 hits, did not strike out a batter, walk 3. including Cruz and Torrealba here in the 4th inning, and he gives way to 25-year-old Steve Cishek. Cishek has had a tremendous rookie year.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball well. Got through the minor leagues quickly. Didn't spend a whole lot of time above the A-ball level. College pitcher, 5th-round draft choice, sidearm guy. 17 innings, struck out 17 batters.
Cishek, 6'6", 218 pounds. Born in Falmouth, Massachusetts. 5th-round pick, 07. And comes from that side winding angle to Gentry, who flied to center his first time up. Rangers with just their 2nd opportunity tonight with the man in scoring position. Happened in the 1st, and Michael Young flied out to right with Hamilton at 3rd. And that ended that inning.
Cishek with pretty good velocity from that sidearm delivery. That first pitch he threw was 92 miles an hour.
Nothing in 2 down to Craig. Cishek established a club record for consecutive scoreless innings to begin a career 16 innings until June 17th. Gave up a couple runs to Tampa Bay. First career loss June 20th against the Angels. This is his first outing since last Sunday when an inning struck out 2 against Seattle. And he climbs the ladder and gets Gentry on 3 pitches. Here's tonight's Coors Light freeze cam on the Rangers' 2 third-inning home runs. Kinsler sending that one into the left field seats. Hamilton going right field on the first pitch of his 2nd at bat against Brad Hand. 395 feet. Tonight's Coors Light freeze cam. So here's Kinsler, who's hit it hard both times. He began the game by lining out right at the shortstop Ramirez. 1 out in the 3rd. He hit that 3-1 pitch, 382 feet for his 12th home run of the year. Yeah, looks at strike 1. 3 and 4 of his 12 home runs this week. Going into the Houston series, he had homered once and driven in 4 runs in his previous 21 games. But his bat came alive down at Minute Maid Park. One ball, 1 strike. Ian started to hit on the road. Put together a nice road streak. Got the average for the year up to 176. At home, 303 average. That was before tonight. So overall starting to climb up at 240 this trip. That one in there for strike 2.
Well, he gets it up there good at 93 miles an hour, that sidearm delivery.
Yeah, it's on sidearmers. You think of mid-high 80s.
Yeah, it's rare to see one throwing 92 or 93. He's not really a true underarm guy, but he comes from pretty low angle.
And able to lay off the slider there, or Darren O'Day like pitch to make it 2-2. 2 on with 2 outs here on walks before Hand left the game. He got Moreland to fly out. Cishek with the strikeout to Gentry for the 2nd out, and now a strike away from getting through it unscathed. And after going inside to Kinsler, he gets a call, strike 3. Strikes out both batters he faces. Rangers leave 2. Still down 6-2. Trivia question. What Major League record did Nolan Ryan set on this date in 1990? That would be most seasons with 100 or more strikeouts. His 22nd such season that year.
Played 22 years is incredible.
Went on to have 2 more and set the all-time record of 24 seasons with triple-digit strikeouts. Leading that stellar group. Nolan's second of 5 years here in Arlington. Tommy Hunter on since the last out of the first inning. Throws strike 1 to Hanley Ramirez, who has the big blast in this game. The difference. Grand slam home run in the first. After Derek Holland had given up a walk to Bonifacio and back-to-back singles to Infante and Sanchez to load the bases and set the stage for Ramirez. And we hit it 374 feet. The infield or inside out stroke just over the railing out in right field. 5th career grand slam for Hanley Ramirez. Last time up, he popped to second. 2 balls and a strike. Tommy Hunter gave up an unearned run in the second. Got around a leadoff double in the third and a 2-out single by Infante in the fourth. His 52nd pitch off his glove, but directly out to Kinsler. 1-4-3 to retire Hanley Ramirez. As we welcome Steve Busby.
Gentlemen, how are you?
We're
nice
good.
To see you. Nice to see you.
Not sure how Derek Holland feels right about now. After
I would imagine he felt better before he took the hill tonight, to be quite honest. That's not the face of a happy man right there.
Can you narrow down what it was, or was just a little bit of everything just was not right for him tonight?
Yeah, it's too easy, I think, to say no command, because that doesn't sum it up. Let me put it this way. When you throw out your first 30 pitches, you throw 26 fastballs, 3 changeups, and 1 curveball. That's not going to get you out of any kind of a rut that you find yourself in. You got to mix things up a little bit more than that to see if you can find a consistent release point. And, you know, Florida, I don't care how many difficulties they've had offensively. If you don't have command of a fastball and you're trying to throw fastballs in the middle of the strike zone just so you can get a strike, these guys aren't going to miss it.
Logan Morrison pops that out to shallow center field, and Gentry has out number 2.
I guess, Buzz, that outing by Derek just emphasizes how important it is to, as they say, cliche, throw strike 1.
Yeah.
Get ahead in the count.
Yeah. You can't have a better example of what happens, the bad things that happen when you don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not one that says strike 1 is important on the first pitch. It's my belief, and I'm in a minority, I think, as far as this goes, but one of the first 2 pitches to me needs to be a strike, and 2 of the first 3 pitches need to be a strike.
Sure, yeah,
whatever order.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
This thing about having to throw your first pitch for a strike all the time, I think is a little dangerous because guys look for it, but what it does to you mentally, if you don't throw the first pitch for a strike, then you're in a hole mentally.
Yeah.
And you figure you got to climb out, and I don't think 1-0 is a hole.
Well, he threw only 2 first pitch strikes to the 8 batters he faced.
Yeah, it just wasn't. You know, his 3rd or 4th inning, whichever he had the most trouble with lately, came in the first tonight. And again, Derek wasn't able to put the brakes on a big inning.
It looked to me like in the first inning the hitters were taking a pitch anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And again, it doesn't mean that you have to throw strike 1, but boy, when it's 2-0 consistently, that's, you know, you're asking for trouble.
Yep.
2-0, 3-1, 3-2.
Tommy Hunter a strike away from his first 1-2-3 inning, and there it is. Strikeout of Stanton. And we head to the bottom of the 5th. Just 11 pitches required there for Tommy. More with Steve Busby when we come back. Again at 7:05. The first 10,000 kids 13 and under will receive a white Ian Kinsler jersey. Compliments of Dr. Pepper and Tom Thumb. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972 Rangers. Good seats left for that one, as well as for the 4th of July Monday night at 7 against the Baltimore Orioles. Steve Cishek retired Gentry and Kinsler on strikes after the Rangers had chased Brad Hand with a couple of walks in the 4th inning. Andrus is 0 for 2. He lined to second in the 1st, grounded to short between the Kinsler and Hamilton solo shots in the 3rd. Cishek on after the starter Hand lasted 3 1/3. 2 runs, 4 hits, walked 3, and did not strike out a batter at his 4th career start. And the story for the Rangers after that 5-run first has been the work of Tommy Hunter, who has now gone to 4 1/3 and allowed only 1 unearned run. Because he came out throwing 96 miles an hour and quickly seemed to move back into starter mode.
Yeah, you're right. Toughest job on a pitching staff, I think, is to be a long reliever, and you're always brought into a game when things are not going well for your club early in the game, and you're asked to put the brakes on it right there. And Tommy's done a great job with it tonight.
Yeah, the rest of the guys in the bullpen are really guys you don't want to use for multiple innings, except for maybe Tadayama, but he pitched in last night's game. So all the more pressure on Tommy to go 4, 5, or 6 innings tonight.
Well, was able to check his swing and get a leadoff walk.
Well, that's a good job for a leadoff hitter in an inning. He's not up there trying to hack away at the 3-1 pitch, ahead in the count, going to get a fastball, worrying about yourself. He's up there trying to get on base for the team, so he's taken all the way on the 3-1 pitch and worked the walk.
Well, the Marlins not able yet to retire Josh Hamilton. 2-out single in the 1st, 2-out solo homer in the 3rd, his 9th of the year. Now 7 games against Marlins pitching. He is 14 for 26 with 2 home runs. So we've got the return of Tommy Hunter, looking impressive so far. Darren O'Day activated, also on the bullpen. Can't this potentially, if they're anything close to what they were last year, really transform what's been a weakness on the year for the Rangers? The overall work of the bullpen.
Well, you're starting to get the pieces back, or the piece in Darren O'Day back that you didn't have, and hopefully he'll come back and be very, very effective right from the get-go. The other piece, I think, Dave, that's important that you're missing is Alexi Ogando. You don't have that lockdown 8th inning guy right now. Now, there are a couple candidates for it. Mark Lowe for one.
Here goes Elvis, and the throw is not in time. Number 25 for Elvis.
A pretty strong throw from Buck. Elvis just slides in underneath the tag, stay out of a double play, get a man in scoring position. Still a lot of baseball left to be played, so you don't have to play for the big inning. A run here and a run there can get you right back in it.
And Elvis sliding feet first again, which he says he'll continue to do, at least in the immediate future, after spraining his left wrist on a headlong dive. Cost him 4 games. Hamilton trying to wail on that 2-0 fastball. Rangers tonight with runners in scoring position are 0 for 3. Four-run game, bottom of the 5th. Every opportunity big. And now 3-1 to Josh, with Adrian Beltre on deck. Bud, you talked about Alexi Ogando. What impressed you the most about his action last night?
Well, I think the execution. I thought he and Taylor Teagarden had a great game plan going in, and that's throwing all of his pitches, mixing them up, using the strengths that Alexi has.
Well hit left field. Morrison is back, and it is gone. A 2-run blast for Josh Hamilton. his second straight home run, and this is a ball game now.
You got to be strong to hit a pitch like that, 380 feet. If I hit that ball, it would have, the outfielder would come running in trying to make a shoestring catch. He just reaches out and flicks this thing the opposite way, about 380 feet. And he's just trying to slap a ball into left field for a base hit. Goes all the way out of the ballpark.
You just slap it into the first row out there. That's something.
Jack McKeon himself, rather than his pitching coach Randy St. Clair, out to deliver this message to Cishek.
This is pretty much what we were talking about earlier, Buzz. If you're Cishek in this game, you've got a 4-run lead. He walks Andrus.
Yeah.
Then he gets behind 3-1. He's got to throw a fastball, and bang! Before you know it, there's 2 runs.
That's right.
And Beltre pulls that one deep but foul on the very next pitch.
He was going for it.
That was that get-ahead fastball from Cishek.
What? Isn't that what you're talking about, though?
Yeah.
Strike one for the sake of strike one?
Yeah, exactly.
Big cut at that one, but straight back, and it's 0-2. Impressed by a 93 from his arm angle?
I'm not, but the hitters are.
I think they're less and less impressed as this game's going on.
Yeah, that's along with that breaking ball he has, it's 81, 82, something like that. You know, the way Ian Kinsler reacted, he couldn't pull the trigger after seeing 2 breaking balls. He threw him a fastball in the outside corner, and Kins couldn't pull the trigger. He was talking to Joe West, and I think he wasn't questioning where the pitch was. He was saying, Joe, what am I supposed to do on that? Can't swing at it.
Got under that one, and this will reach the seats.
Right now, he might not be able to throw Beltre a pitch that he won't swing at. He's in the Vladimir Guerrero mode right now. He better not throw him a strike, though.
Not one down anyway in the middle of the plate.
Concentrating on the upper register, the zone. And he gets him climbing the ladder even further. Now, let's go to our Fox Sports Southwest studios for McDonald's Dollar Drink Game Break. All right, Dana, thanks very much. Michael Young has twice ended innings by flying out to right field. And takes ball 1 here after the strikeout of Beltre. High pop up into shallow right. And Peterson comes on. And he's handled all 3 of these outs off the bat of Michael Young. Josh Hamilton, by the way, at 370 feet with his second straight home run. His 4th career multi-homer game. His first since September of '09 here against the Blue Jays. And this year, the 4th multi-homer game by a Ranger. So from 6-0 down, coming into the bottom of the 3rd, they made it 6-4 on long balls. Kinsler's solo shot, Hamilton solo followed by the 2-run blast. Cruz is grounded to second and walked after his career high equaling 6 RBI game last night. And 0-2.
It's one of those fastballs you're talking about, Buzz. 92 miles an hour. Couldn't quite pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Marlins now out hitting the Rangers by only 1, 6-5. 6 runs on 6 hits for Florida. No errors. They've left 3. 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Rangers, and they have left 5. And their most recent run unearned in the 2nd inning. That made it 6-0. Cruz swings at one way out of the zone. We thank Steve Busby as always for the visit.
You're welcome. Talk to you guys after the ball game.
Sounds good. Through 5, Rangers on the comeback trail within 2 now. After the second blast of the game by Josh Hamilton at 6-4. In this game long enough for the bats to wake up, and it's now 6-4 into the 6th inning. He came on in the 1st to get the last out and has allowed only 1 unearned run on 2 base hits. John Buck scored after a walk in the 1st and was retired at a nice sliding catch in shallow right by Cruz his 2nd time up. 60 pitches now for Hunter, 39 strikes, 21 balls. Significantly, he has not walked a batter. Pretty long run over by Gentry, and he turns on the Jets laid out in the gap. Buck out number 1 in the 6th inning. Earlier today, our Fox Sports Southwest Fan Express bus pulled into Fort Sill, Oklahoma, just outside Lawton. And our privilege to welcome some wounded soldiers from Fort Sill for the ride down to Arlington, and they are taking in this game here at Rangers Ballpark.
More than anything, Mike Maddox came in and brought in attitude. Maddox spent 6 seasons as the pitching coach in Milwaukee.
Wes Helms, RBI double to cap their 1st. Pop to 2nd to end the 3rd. The Warrior Transition Unit from Fort Sill, they provide command and control, primary care, and case management for warriors in transition to establish conditions for healing and promote the timely return to the force or transition to continue serving the nation as a veteran in their community. That is the good work provided up at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And in a moment, we will hear from some of those. We'll visit with Jim Knox after Hunter deals with Helms here. But he issues his first walk, and let's check in with Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Dave. Here they are, the Warrior transition unit from Fort Sill. Everybody having a good time, right? Coming down on the Fox Sports Southwest Band Express. Sergeant Fox with us, along with Sergeant Hilton. And that Fox Sports Southwest ride here to the ballpark was great for you because you were overseas, did not see the Rangers run to the World Series last year, but you saw it on video.
No, I didn't. I got to catch up on what happened all season, and then got to see the insides of them going all the way to the World Series.
You guys are big-time Ranger fans. How do you keep up with the Rangers overseas?
When I'm overseas, I usually catch them on the AFN network or Fox Sports through internet feed. Is how I keep up with the games and the scores.
You had family and friends you brought along for the ride. Everything having a good time then, right?
Absolutely.
All right, good to have you out here. Thank you for everything you guys have done. Dave?
Absolutely. Cannot underline that enough. It was great to have them in the ballpark tonight. Mike Maddox out to visit with Tommy Hunter after the walk to Helms. He gives up the first pitch base hit to Brian Peterson. And the Marlins now 2 on with 1 out. As we look out to the Ranger bullpen and see Darren O'Day begin to loosen. Mike Hunter just back on the active roster. Here's our Brown Hand Center great hands for tonight. And this on the at bat by Bonifacio in the 4th inning. Tommy Hunter handles it by himself.
Well, I think he's proved on that play that he's got agility and that his groin injury is a thing of the past. He had a sprint over there to first base quickly to do that. If the groin was bothering him, he would have felt it after that play.
The Marlins are 2 for 6 tonight with runners in scoring position. Here is Bonifacio. Walk to lead off the game. Reached on a bunt throwing error by Torrealba in the second. Stole second. Took third on another throwing error by Yorvie. Scored on a sac fly by Gabby Sanchez. That's the most recent Florida run back in the second. Off of Hunter. Right to Moreland, and he can't win that race against one of the fastest men in baseball. They are loaded with 1 out. That goes as an infield hit for Bonifacio.
A little bit of luck. It bounces right straight to Mitch, and he steps on first. But all it took was a little bit of a deflection towards second, and there's no way he could beat Bonifacio.
A little bit of an unintended kick save there, it looked like, by Hunter. So trainer Kevin Harmon, along with Wash, Mike Maddox out to check on Tommy.
Darren O'Day is loosening up in the bullpen, and so Tommy's got to be reaching the point where Ron Washington would be considering the bullpen anyway. I'll get a look to see where that ball hit on the inside of his left ankle somewhere. They're going to make a change, it looks like.
Tommy at 69 pitches, 43 strikes, 26 balls. And reluctantly, he will exit, but he'll also get a very well-deserved ovation after his 2011 debut. He has kept the Rangers in this game into the 6th to get it to O'Day. Major League Baseball Advanced Media, the McCormick Foundation, and the Entertainment Industry Foundation to address the mental health needs of returning veterans. The goal of Welcome Back Veterans is to provide grants for research and treatment relating to post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury. Since its inception, MLB has donated more than $10 million. More information or to make a donation, go to welcomebackveterans.org. Welcome back a veteran relief pitcher right here in Darren O'Day, just activated before the game. Michael Kirkman optioned to AAA Round Rock.
Well, a tough spot for Darren. Love to get that ground ball, turn a double play, and get right back out of this inning. Bases loaded and 1 out. Darren gets as many pitches as he needs, with Hunter being removed because of the injury. He had a chance to throw a little bit down in the bullpen, so as a reliever, it won't take him that long to get ready.
Darren has been healing hip labrum surgery. He had hoped to come back first day eligible off the DL. That was last Sunday, June 26th. Not quite on that timetable. But the Rangers have been getting more and more favorable reports about his work in the rehab outings at Round Rock. So, like Tommy Hunter, immediately thrown in a situation of dire need after the starter Derek Holland lasted just 2/3 of an inning. Hunter goes 4 2/3. At this point has allowed only 1 unearned run on 4 hits. He struck out 2. His only walk is Wes Helms out at third base. Peterson at second. Bonifacio at first. And here is Omar Infante, 2 for 3, singled and scored in the first. He has since struck out and singled with 2 outs in the fourth. Darren O'Day back to work, and his first pitch hit well out to right center field. Cruz makes the catch. Wes Helms will come home on the sacrifice fly, and it's 7-4 Florida. So Infante does the job on 1 pitch, drives in his 25th run of the year. And the only Tommy Hunter walk now comes home. Peterson taking third. And with 2 outs, the batter will be Gabby Sanchez, who has also delivered a sacrifice fly tonight. That was to score Bonifacio in the second. He singled just ahead of the Hanley Ramirez grand slam in the first, and last time up flied to Cruz. First pitch in there for a strike. Tom, before O'Day underwent the surgery, none of us knew the extent of his injury, but he never really looked comfortable. Didn't look like he was able to throw the type pitches that he was so consistent in delivering the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's been pitching in a lot of pain, not just this year, but before this year he's having pain too. He's trying to pitch through it. Finally just got to the point where the pain was too much. So the unfortunate part is he had to miss a lot of the season, but the good part is he's feeling 100% healthy now, and now it's just a matter of pitching his way back into mid-season form, and with a rehab assignment that he's had, it shouldn't take him long to do that.
Darren last year in 72 appearances was 6-2 with a 203 earned run average. First full season with the Rangers.
Oh, through it, he might have had him.
Yeah.
The play actually worked.
Hey, look to Peterson at third, and Bonifacio is sneaking almost too far off of first. With an 0-2 count on Gabby Sanchez. And takes care of him with the high fastball. Marlins get a run on 2 base hits. They leave 2 to the bottom of the 6th. It's 7-4. brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Tonight's jackpot worth $2,700 plus dinner for two at a Sonic Drive-In. And tonight the Rangers are hitting for Sharon Von Schriltz from Moore, Oklahoma. If a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Sharon Von Schriltz from Moore, Oklahoma will win $25,000. You can register at any North Texas Sonic restaurant. Tom, I'm still waiting for my first Sonic Slam inning.
Well, I hope you get it right this inning. Couldn't come at a more opportune time, that's for sure.
That jackpot is way up there. Mitch Moreland is grounded to second and flied to left tonight. 0 for 6 in the series.
Both balls hit hard, too. Hard ground ball, hard line drive.
Got under that one. Drifting toward the line is Morrison. And Mitch again flies out to him. He's 0 for 3. Cishek came on with 2 on, 1 out in the 4th inning for the starter Brad Hand, and struck out those 2 batters, Gentry and Kinsler. In the 5th, he walked Elvis Andrus, and then gave up the 2-run blast by Hamilton, his second home run of the game, and has since retired 4 straight, including strikeouts of Beltre and Cruz. Torrealba tonight has flied to center and walked, in addition to committing 2 throwing errors, both in the 2nd inning, leading to one of the 2 runs on Tommy Hunter's ledger tonight at his 4 2/3 innings. High pop up on the infield. Shortstop Ramirez grabs the 2nd out. And 5 in a row retired by Cishek since the Hamilton blast. And that will bring up Gentry 0 for 2. He's flied to center. That was against Hand, and he was the first batter Cishek faced in the 4th, and he struck him out on 3 pitches. Craig got into the game as a late replacement last night. Got a hit, scored a run. Last 21 games, he is a .326 hitter, and a ground ball up the middle past the diving Hanley Ramirez. Gentry with a 2-out single. Gets it back to the top of the order, Kinsler.
Craig's had a couple of good at-bats. He had a long fly ball in the 3rd inning all the way to the warning track in dead center field. Threat to steal a base right here.
He has not been thrown out. He is 9 for 9 this year on the base paths. And there he goes. The throw is late. Make it 10 for 10 for Gentry.
Well, all it takes is a single to get that run back that the Marlins scored in the top of the 6th inning. Cishek took a little bit of time, which allowed Gentry to get a few more steps in there. Didn't give Buck much of a chance.
1-1 to Kinsler. So Craig Gentry safe at second, safe and secure. New York life. Ian tonight hit it hard in the very 1st inning. Lined out to Ramirez. Hit it harder with 1 out in the 3rd. 382 feet into the left field seats. And then Cishek got him looking to end the 4th. Ian Kinsler, 4 of his 12 home runs on the year this week. Two and 2. Rangers down 6-0 into the bottom of the 3rd. And Ian's home run started their comeback. All 4 Ranger runs have scored on homers. Hamilton a solo in the 3rd and the 2-run shot in the 5th. which made it 6-4. That one will hook into the seats just beyond the tarp out there. And still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Steve Cishek up for just 3 outings last year, his first dose of Major League Baseball. But this year has pretty much made himself a mainstay in their bullpen. Up from AAA New Orleans May 24th. A 1.56 ERA and 12 outings coming into tonight. Very close to a call strike. 3 there to Ian. A little bit high, and it's 3-2. So close. Probably could have been call strike 3. Marlins now double-barreled action in their bullpen with left-hander Mike Dunn, right-hander Burke Badenhop, who we saw last night. High pop-up. Barely out in left field. Ramirez can't make the catch, and a run scores.
Wow. You don't plan for that to happen. Not in the big leagues.
But the Rangers will take it. Thank you. They're back within 2.
Just a routine play. You put your head down and assume that that's an out. Ramirez gets turned around and looked like he was fighting the sun, the wind, and everything on a fairly routine night. Don't know if the wind affected the ball at all, but he's underneath it, just doesn't catch it.
And again, the wind tonight is in from left. It's not the usual jet stream from right center field. And had a pretty obvious effect there as that was coming to earth. Just to the left of where Hanley Ramirez thought it was
just
coming.
By the look on his face and the way he stumbled and the way he reached, it looked like it was anything but a routine pop-up. Well, maybe the wind did affect it a little bit. Still a ball that he's got to catch.
It's a lot of errors for him this year. That's number 12. And it brings up Andrews. And Elvis here representing the potential tying run. So after the Marlins scored 6 in their first 2 innings, Rangers get the tie run to the plate here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
He knows that Kinsler's a base stealing threat. Gentry stole second base easily to get in position to score on that pop-up. He doesn't want Kinsler to do the same thing.
Ball 1 to Elvis. Led off the 5th with a walk, stole his 25th base, and then scored on the second Hamilton home run. Angels are off to a big start. They're up 4-0 on the Dodgers. Still batting bottom of the 4th in Anaheim. 2 back of the Rangers. Right under Elvis's chin. After just a little bit of a bluff by Kinsler at first, it's 2-0.
Elvis is going to try to get the bat in the eyes of the catcher, John Buck. Try to prevent him from making an accurate throw to second base, but Ian decided not to go on that pitch.
That's in there. Now make it 6-0 Angels. 3 in the 3rd, 3 more in the 4th. Jared Weaver on the mound. Dodgers now batting top of the 5th at Angel Stadium. Arizona leads Oakland 4-0. Diamondbacks batting top of the 5th at Oakland. And Seattle and San Diego scoreless bottom of the 2nd at Safeco Field. There goes Ian. Pitches inside. Throw by Buck is in time.
Dropped the ball.
And he dropped it.
He signaled him out, and then the ball came out of the glove. So it was a throw out if the infielder was able to hang on to the ball. Take a look and see what happened. I don't know if he ever had control of the ball. Pitcher thought he was out.
A great angle there. Boy, you are right on top of the play, and he never did have control.
Never. Ball was never in the glove. The ball bounced, was never in the glove. Technically, never should have been called out.
So the stolen base, number 16 now on the year for Kinsler. He's been caught only twice. In there at the knees, and it's 3-2.
Okay, no problem. Slap one to the outfield and make it a one-run game. A lot of pitches for Cechek. This will be his 50th pitch. Probably hasn't had many games this year where he's thrown 50 pitches in a relief appearance.
And the 20th pitch of the inning. Just enough to stay alive at 3-2.
Hamilton's on deck, and they've got a lefty in the bullpen that's had pretty good success this year. Michael Dunn.
Well, tonight no one's had any success against Josh. 3 for 3, 2 homers. Elvis would love to keep this inning going with the 3-2 pitch. 2 outs. Kinsler at second. In the gap, right center field, but Peterson gets there. And the Rangers settle for a run on a hit, an error, 2 steals, a man left. It's a 2-run game headed to the 7th. Your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Hey, Barnett with Tom Grieve. We get to the 7th inning, and a ball game has appeared from the ashes of a 6-0 Marlin lead into the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Rangers have scored 5 of the last 6 runs put on the board. It's a 7-5 game for Darren O'Day, who came on to get the last 2 outs of the 6th. But the first was on a sacrifice fly by Infante to bring home Wes Helms. Tommy Hunter went 4 2/3 in relief of Derek Holland, who lasted just 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 first inning runs, 4 on the Hanley Ramirez grand slam, and Hunter in his 4 2/3, 2 runs, 1 of which was unearned on 4 hits, struck out 2 and walked 1. And Ramirez will lead off the Marlins 7th. Since that slam, he's popped a second, grounded into a 1-4-3, first out of the 5th. First ball hitting here. He pops one back out of play. This series will wrap up tomorrow night at our Nissan pitching matchup on Fox Sports Southwest at 7 p.m. We'll feature Javier Vasquez, 4-8 on the year against C.J. Wilson. So impressive in Houston, picking up his 8th win. We'll go for number 9 tomorrow. That'll wrap up the series, and then for the 4th of July, the Baltimore Orioles in for the first of 3 at 7 o'clock. Two and 1 to Ramirez. Darren O'Day reinstated from the 60-day disabled list just before today's game. Michael Kirkman optioned to AAA Round Rock. Darren made 6 rehab appearances, both with Frisco and Round Rock. Went 1-0 with a 3.68 ERA in 7 1/3 innings. Walked only 1, struck out 13 of the 29 batters he faced. Gave up a couple of home runs. He last worked Thursday against Nashville, 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, a home run, no walks, struck out 5 through 39 pitches in that game. This is 9th pitch, and it's in there to fill the count. And Michael Kirkman, in his 2 stints with the Rangers this year, over 11 appearances, a win and a loss at a .733 earned run average. Kirkman's last couple of outings did not go well. 7 runs, 6 earned in 5 1/3.
Well, one thing that Michael has shown is that he's definitely got the stuff to pitch in the big leagues. He's got a good breaking ball. He was throwing hard in relief, fastball 92 to 94. The one thing Michael needs to refine and work on is the command of the strike zone. When he gets to the point where he can throw more strikes, got a chance to be very successful.
Ramirez sends that one high and deep to left field, and he has a 2-home run game. Marlins refusing to die. Get that run back and lead it 8-5.
Well, he dropped the pop up to let a run in. It's a home run to get it back. I was trying to shoot that ball on the outside corner. He shot it right down the middle of the plate, unfortunately.
So Hanley giveth, and then Hanley taketh away. Here is Logan Morrison, who's doubled in 3 trips, and he hits it well to right field. And this one is gone over the Ranger bullpen. The Marlins go back-to-back. Consecutive pitches from Darren O'Day. And for Morrison, that's number 11. Each team now with 3 home runs in this game. That one landing right about where the shot by Cruz did last night. Mike Stanton is 0 for 3. striking out twice. He's got 16 home runs. That's 7th in the National League. Got under this one. Long run in for Cruz, and he will not get to it. Kinsler trips as he backs out. And a base hit for Stanton.
Well, the wind is definitely blowing the ball in and toward right field. Ian goes back looking over his right shoulder, and then as he tries to come back the other way, he falls down. Nelly can't get to it. Nelly's got a shot at first base if he makes a good throw, but Stanton's able to scamper back.
So with Mike Maddox out for a visit, Darren Oliver begins to throw in the Ranger bullpen. As the Marlins now with 3 consecutive batters in the 7th inning. After O'Day retired the 2 he faced in the 6th. Home run, bloop single. That'll bring up the catcher John Buck, who walked and scored in the 1st and has twice flied out. Ramirez on his 2nd home run, 401 feet. Morrison 414 feet. And for Ramirez, his 11th career multi-home run game. They've all been 2 home run games. And his comeback under Jack McKeon continues. Advances in a big way tonight. Last time he went deep twice, last year against Washington. Runner goes. Throw had no chance to get Stanton.
A strong throw by Torrealba, but you're right. It didn't matter. That base was already taken. Combination of a little bit slow to the plate and a breaking ball away. In spite of the good throw, there was nothing that could be done for that stolen base.
And that's a guy that never runs, only his 2nd attempt on the year. But both have been successful. So Stanton gets himself into scoring position. What goes after that low pitch? 1 ball and 2 strikes. Marlins now 9 runs on 11 hits and error 5 left. For the Rangers, 5 runs on only 6 hits, 2 errors, and they have left 6. Rivera's 4th career 5 RBI game. He had 24 for the year until tonight. He had 5 home runs for the year until tonight. Ties his career high. 5 runs batted in, the 4th time he's done that. For the Marlins, the 4th time they have gone back-to-back with home runs this year. The last time was June 11th. Buck strikes out for the 1st out of the 7th inning. 2nd strikeout for Darren O'Day. And let's check in again with Emily Jones.
Guys, as you well know, Ron Washington with some decisions to make tonight as he fills out his American League All-Star roster. Wash says he is enjoying the process.
When you're not behind the scene of this type of game, you really don't understand what goes on, but there's a lot that goes on, and in the process you learn a lot. So, it's been an education for me, and it's been fun at the same time.
And one good thing for Wash is that his players aren't putting any pressure on him. They've taken that completely off, so he's not hearing it within the clubhouse as far as guys vying for all-star bids themselves.
All right, Emily, thanks. We will find out tomorrow the makeup of the all-star teams. $11 a.m. on TBS tomorrow. The all-star rosters will be revealed. find out if Josh Hamilton withstood the challenge of Jacoby Ellsbury to get his 4th straight start in the outfield for the American League, and who might join him from the Rangers roster. Well, I think it'll be particularly interesting which, if any, pitchers make it, because you got this very strong candidate in C.J. Wilson, and the night last night by Ogando, they bring him back into the picture.
Yeah, Ogando's in the top 10 in opponents' batting average, top 10 in ERA. He's won 8 ball games.
Fly ball right field for Cruz. Stanton will make third base. He's there with 2 outs. This month, baseball's biggest stars gathering together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage is next Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix, 7 p.m. only on Fox. And don't forget, you can see a special world premiere sneak preview of the upcoming Fox show, The X Factor, during the broadcast. Well, that is the final out that will be recorded tonight by Darren O'Day in his first outing off the 68-day disabled list. Darren Oliver coming on to try and get the last out of the 7th. Section, Jim Knox.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. Another with a special guest. I have him with Sergeant Weaver. He's been serving the Armed Forces for 36 years, going on 37. As we approach Independence Day, what does this mean to you?
I just love the fact that I'm able, at my age, to have served, even though I've been injured. Yeah, I'm on my way out, but I'm just glad that I could serve to prove, even to the younger folks, it can be done. Anybody can do this if they have the desire.
There we go. We appreciate everything you do as our salute to heroes continue. Dave?
Thank you.
Well, he really said it all in just a few words, didn't he?
That's a proud man right there.
Darren Oliver on to face the left-handed hitting Brian Peterson. 1 for 3. All against Tommy Hunter. He was the first batter Tommy faced in the first inning, and he flied to center to end that 5-run Florida first. And Darren Oliver has become a very consistent force out of the bullpen. 3 scoreless innings, last 4 outings, 1 unearned run over his last 8. And his ERA down from 3.09 to 2.40. Little squibber handled by Adrian Beltre, and it takes Darren just 2 pitches to get out number 3. A 2-run Marlins 7th, homers by Ramirez and Morrison.
Captain Megan Plumley here in Afghanistan. I want to say hi to my friends and family back home in Burnett, Texas. Go Rangers!
All right, we're ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. And left-hander Mike Dunn takes over as the third Florida pitcher of the night. He follows Steve Cishek's 2 2/3 innings, allowing 3 runs on 2 hits, struck out 4, walked 1.
Yeah, Dunn's got some pretty good numbers. 37 innings, 46 strikeouts. He's given up some home runs and he's walked a few too many. But he's got an opponent's batting average of 188.
First order of business, Josh Hamilton. 3 for 3, 2 home runs, including a 2-run shot in the 5th. And that made it a 6-4 game.
Pretty good fastball right there, 95.
Josh has added 11 points to his average in these first 3 at-bats, up over 300 out of 304. Homers 9 and 10. 3 runs batted in. Up now to 40 for the year.
Dunn is one of the players that the Marlins got when they traded Dan Uggla to the Braves. They also got Omar Infante in that trade.
And we are told that Tommy Hunter did not leave because of an injury. He took a shot off the foot, but he is okay. And so he had at that point thrown 69 pitches, 4 2/3 innings.
And he pitched in the game a couple of days ago, so that he's probably right at his limit anyway. It's a good thing Tommy was able to have 70 pitches in him and go 4+ innings today.
Hamilton sends that one high, not all that deep to left, and Logan Morrison comes back a few steps. Baseball fans, Chevy, a proud sponsor of youth baseball leagues in your community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. So the crowd at 29,728 in the ballpark tonight. As the Rangers surpass 1.5 million tonight in the 41st home date of the year. 4th time in Ranger history to reach 1.5 million in this few home dates. First year of the ballpark, 94. They made it in 39. 41 to 97, and again in 2001. One and one to Beltre. He single walked and struck out. Rangers have never had a 3 million attendance season. Closest they came 97, within about 55,000. And a makeup game robbed Rangers of a home date that year.
I'd had a shot at it the first year if the season wasn't canceled.
Should have a good shot at it this year too. Big jump in the first half attendance on the heels of the World Series appearance, as you would expect. And heading into the second half with his close race in the West. Helms, a nice backhand stop, and he bounces the throw across the diamond to Gabby Sanchez. Out number 2 in the Rangers 7th. Good defensive plays the Marlins have turned in tonight.
Oh, nice play by Helms. Not necessarily known for his agility, but a nice backhand play. Takes his time. Throws a catchable one-hop throw to first base.
So Mike Dunn gets the first 2 Rangers he faces, Hamilton and Beltre. Now Michael Young 0 for 3, all fly balls to right field. Don, a 26-year-old native of Farmington, New Mexico. And again, Michael goes to right field, and he's kept Peterson busy out there. Dunn works a 1, 2, 3, 7th inning. We go to the 8th, still 9-5 Florida. At bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more by texting at bat to 31826 or visit TexasRangers.com for details. Darren Oliver got the third out of the 7th on just 2 pitches and now works to the top of the order. Emilio Bonifacio, who has been a real thorn tonight, chops this one right to Elvis Andrus. Trying to get rid of the throw quickly against Bonifacio, who was retired for just the 2nd time. He scored twice. Used on a walk, stole a base, and on an infield hit. So 2 ground ball outs now turned in by Oliver, the 4th Ranger pitcher of the night. Now Omar Infante, who was 2 for 3, scored a run, driven in a run, greeting Darren O'Day with a sacrifice fly to bring home Wes Helms in the 6th. That made it 7-4. Rangers got a run back, an unearned run on the Ramirez drop pop in the bottom of the 6th. But Florida right back with 2 more in the 7th on the back-to-back homers by Ramirez, his 2nd of the game, and Morrison. One and 2 on Infante. Both teams with 3 home runs.
He swung at that pitch, almost hit him.
That's what Lance Barrett says.
Threw that hard breaking ball down and in. Infante couldn't hold up. It almost hit him in the foot.
Or you could pull a quad that way.
I wasn't comfortable. Lance Barrett's all over it at first base.
So 2 outs. And here's Gabby Sanchez. Singled in the 1st. Drove in a run on a sac fly in the 2nd. He is also flied out and struck out. And he sends Andrus toward the hole, and Elvis handles 2 of the 3 outs here as the Marlins go in order for only the second time tonight, and it took only 8 pitches for Darren.
Hi, this is Matt Harrison of the Texas Rangers, and we'd like to remember all the wounded ones that were in combat and all the families that have lost loved ones. And we'd like to remember all the families in this 4th of July weekend.
And we second those emotions from Matt Harrison here. And we reached the bottom of the 8th inning. 4th Marlin pitcher of the night, strikeout specialist Edward Mujica, who came over after last year from the San Diego Padres, Cameron Maben trade. Mujica last year, a strikeout specialist. And Ramirez throws out Cruz on 1 pitch. Mujica last year led all major league relievers with a strikeout to walk ratio of 12. Best ratio in National League history and the 5th best in Major League history. He struck out 72, walked only 6 in 69 2/3 innings in his second year with San Diego. Originally up in 06 with the Indians. 1 gone in the Ranger 8th. Now Moreland 0 for 3. 0 for 7 so far in the series. Mujica follows 1 inning by Mike Dunn, a 3 up and 3 down 7th. 2 2/3 by Steve Cishek. 3 runs, 2 hits. Rookie Brad Hand, the starter, 4th major league start, lasted 3 1/3. 2 runs on 4 hits. Those struck out. And, he walked 3. High pop up. Shallow left center. Wynn gets a piece of it, but Bonifacio is there in time, and Mitch is 0 for 4.
And Mitch is just off a tick right now. Going through a little period where timing's off a little tick. Not hitting the fastball like he was hitting it earlier in the year. You go through a lot of streaks like that, no matter who you are. Just got to battle through it. He's had some pitches that he normally hits.
Yorvi Torrealba tonight, 0 for 2, a walk, 2 throwing errors.
Yeah, at the same time, you have a game like this if you're Mitch and you're 0 for 4, but he hit 2 balls hard. Hit a hard shot to second base, line drive to left field. Balls that are hit well enough to be base hits, and if they both fall in for hits, you're 2 for 4 and feeling good. Instead, you're 0 for 4. Not feeling so well after a game.
Angels and the Dodgers now in the top half of the 7th inning. It's 7-1 Angels. Dodgers have only 3 hits off of Jared Weaver tonight. Vernon Wells has hit his 11th home run. Padres and the Mariners scoreless into the 5th inning now. And Oakland trailing at home to Arizona 4-0, top of the 8th. Saunders shutting out the A's through 7 on 7 hits for the Diamondbacks. And so 2-2 to Torrealba. Gentry would be next.
We were talking earlier about early candidates for managers of the year, and we were talking about Clint Hurdle in Pittsburgh, and he's a legitimate candidate obviously, but Kirk Gibson's got to be a candidate in Arizona as well. Really turned around the fortunes of the Diamondbacks, and Manny Acta's got the Cleveland Indians in first place, so a lot of candidates for that award midway through the season.
Yeah, Arizona just 3 back of the Giants. And that Cleveland team, of course, had the great start, then came back to the pack. Detroit passed them, and the Indians have now passed Detroit again.
Yeah, the team to watch in the Central is the White Sox. They looked like they were way out of it early, but the way that division is about a 500 division, White Sox have really good starting pitching. They beat the Cubs tonight 1-0. So they've won again. Cleveland won, but Detroit lost, is losing.
Pretty well hit this time. Deep right center field, off the wall. Torrealba is headed for 3. Here's the throw, not in time. A 2-run triple. First triple of the year for Yorvi Torrealba.
Showing that line drive stroke. Drove that ball into right center field. Gets a good kick off the wall, otherwise it would have been maybe a single or a double.
It's his 12th career triple. And that will bring up David Murphy, who will pinch hit for Craig Gentry against the right-handed Mujica. Gentry tonight was 1 for 3, stole a base and scored in the 6th. Murphy steps up, hitting .234. 4 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Long run for Morrison coming in from left field. He makes the catch. And Mujica works around the Torrealba triple. We go to the 9th. It's still 9-5 Marlins. Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. On for the ninth inning is Arthur Rhodes, fifth Ranger pitcher of this game. He follows the spotless inning and a third by Darren Oliver, retired all four batters, including a strikeout.
Yeah, Darren threw the ball well. There's not many pitchers that can throw a strike with a breaking ball more consistently than Darren Oliver. He just comes in and does it one time after the other. Left-hand hitter knows what he's going to see from Darren, but it doesn't do him much good.
And the last several times out has kind of been the role for Arthur Rhodes. Coming in late in the games in which the Rangers trail big, but he's put together five straight scoreless innings over his last 7 appearances. Scored on in only 2 of his last 15 outings. Huge night for Hanley Ramirez. This foul pop tracked by Beltre and Andrus and just out of play. Ramirez got the Marlins off with a first inning grand slam off Darren Oliver. Then he led off the 7th by taking Darren O'Day deep. Derek Holland, I should say, the first inning pitcher on the grand slam. Holland lasting just 2/3 of an inning. Tommy Hunter for 4 2/3 in his 2011 debut. 2 runs, one of which was unearned. O'Day for an inning and a third. Gave up homers to Ramirez and Morrison, then Oliver, and now Rhodes. Arthur, this time last year, headed to his first All-Star game in his 20th Major League season. Didn't get into the game out in Anaheim, but was honored for what became a terrific second year for Rhodes with the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice honor after 20 years to finally make it to the All-Star game. Had some good years along the way. Nice to be recognized.
He's pitched in 5 division series, 4 league championship series.
Kind of like John Wayne getting the Oscar.
Better late than never,
yep.
Right? Oh, it's a 3-hit night for Hanley Ramirez. Let's check in with John Radigan.
All right, Dave, sitting down here on the Rangers live set and getting ready to bring you the complete post-game wrap-up of this one. So much to do and so little time. We, of course, want to hear from Derek Holland. We'll do that. But we'd also like to hear how Tommy Hunter and Darren O'Day feel after returning from the disabled list. Both those guys get their first action in O'Day's case. First time since the DL. And, of course, for Hunter, it's the first of the season. We'll hear from them, Wash, and so much more. Rangers live right after the game, guys.
Logan Morrison grounds into a 6-3 double play, handled by Andrus. Rangers first of the night, 99th of the year.
Elvis has a choice: flip it to Ian or take it himself. It's easier if you have time to just take it yourself. And he decided to do that. Just barely got Morrison at first base.
Rangers lead all the baseball double plays turn. But 2 more errors tonight. They also lead now with 69 on the year. 1 more than the Cubs. Stanton a single and his second stolen base of the year. Last time up, a rocket off the glove of Adrian Beltre. And he's got his second straight base hit. 2 hits off of Rhodes among the first 3 batters he sees here in the 9th.
That was a smash. That's why they call it the hot corner. That ball got down there quickly. Great reaction by Adrian to get a glove on it and almost make the play.
Did you ever play the third base early on?
No, they saw what kind of hands I had, stuck me as far away from the action as they could.
Third base and catcher. You just know you were going to take a pounding one way or the other. John Buck now, who was 0 for 3 with a walk. A walk in the first inning, followed by a double by Wes Helms. Buck coming all the way around from first, and that was it for Derek Holland, his 46th pitch. Got only 2 outs in the first, shortest out of his career. We'll see if anything, if there's any kind of impact on the Rangers rotation. Last night, a strong outing by Alexio Gondo. And Ron Washington's not indicating afterwards whether that would affect the possibility that the Rangers would sit Alexi for his next start. And a little extra rest with the All-Star break approaching. Scott Feldman is basically ready to come back. He's been stretched out to 100 pitches in his rehab work. And Tommy Hunter is now back in a big way, throwing 69 pitches in his debut tonight. There goes the runner. He'll have to come back as Buck fouls it back. Neftali Feliz now getting in some tosses out in the Ranger bullpen. This one Hopper Beltre handles. No runs on 2 hits, a man left in the Marlins ninth. Kinsler, Andrews, Hamilton. Last chance for the Rangers. Least to keep this one going, and they will face the Marlins closer Leo Nunez. Nunez, 22 out of 25 of his save appearances this year, and a streak of 18 straight. Ended in late May, 3rd blown save June 15th. 22 saves prior to the break, 5th most in Marlins history. And set a club record with 11 in the month of May. Over his 2+ seasons, last 2+ seasons, 3rd all-time in the Marlins save list with 78. The all-time leader, former Ranger Rob Nen. And it'll be Kinsler, Andrews, and Hamilton in the bottom of the 9th. Being a home run, a stolen base after reaching on an error, was lined out and struck out. Some defensive changes in addition to the new pitcher. Bonifacio moves from center to left. Wayne Wise takes over in center field.
Florida's only won 36 games. Nunez has saved 22 of them. And they were playing well early in the year. They won a lot of one-run games. They were 10 games over 500 the first couple of months of the year. A lot of one-run games, a lot of saves by Nunez.
Infante drifting out to short right. One gone in the Ranger ninth. Marlins one time 14-4 in one-run games. And then lost 14 straight one-run games, the longest such streak since the Tigers in 1958. Basically the story of their downfall in the month of June when they went just 5-23. Elvis tonight 0 for 3. He's hit it hard a couple times. Walked, stole second, and scored on the second Hamilton home run back in the fifth. That made it a 6-4 game. Hits it hard this time. Shoestring grab by Hanley Ramirez. Well, the offensive highlights of the night for the Rangers. Josh Hamilton's 2 home runs. In the third, 2 batters after a Kinsler shot. And in the fifth, a 2-run blast after the walk to Andrews. And he put the Rangers in the game at that point, within 2. Since that point, the Marlins put up a run in the 6th, 2 more in the 7th, and the Rangers got only 1 more in the 6th inning. Derek Collins been watching out there a long time after he retired only 2 batters in the first, about to fall to 6-4 on the year.
Yeah, it's no fun sitting there for 3 hours thinking about a start that didn't go the way you wanted it to go.
And the Rangers down to their final strike. Rubber game of the series tomorrow again at 7 here on Fox Sports Southwest. C.J. Wilson against Javier Vasquez. C.J. will be going for his 9th victory of the year against 3 losses. He and Ogando both 8-3. A little bit low on the appeal. Angel Campos agrees. Hamilton didn't go around 2-2. Out of play. C.J. Wilson, by the way, the Rangers player of the month for June. He went 3-0 with a .272 earned run average in 5 starts. Did not allow a homer in 36 1/3 innings, the most homerless innings in the entire league in June. Only Cliff Lee had more, 42 homerless innings. And he gets Hamilton looking on the outside corner. Nunez comes in and puts together a 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th inning. And the Marlins even this series at a game apiece, winning 9-5. Their 5-run first, something the Rangers could never overcome. On the other end of this break, we'll hear from John Radigan.